Hey, what's up? This is Khalid Glover, also known as ColecoVision, and I want to welcome you to this video, congratulate you if you've already signed up and registered for my How to Mix Gospel Music webinar that I'm doing. What I wanted to do this video is about is to do something real quick for you that'll be helpful to you because it's one of those things where you've got to get it right. So I have a high responsibility to make sure that when I approach something like that, I pull off the intent of what the message is. It's always about the message. It's about how it makes people feel. And so what I wanted to do right now on the webinar, I'm going to dig real deep and show you so you can look over my shoulders and see how I approach mixing things like this to maintain like not just power and clarity and fatness and like the technical stuff like EQ and compression and all that. But the biggest part to me that's most important is to maintain the feeling, the integrity of the messaging, and just that spirituality that's built into the nature of the music. You know, we can get too technical and worrying about it, but it's always got to be how does it feel and how does it make people feel. So to me, it's a huge responsibility. But right now, what I wanted to do is just kind of show you why you definitely want to attend this webinar and not miss it, because I'll give you a couple minutes here to kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to be covering. But in that 70 to 90 minutes that we're going to be on live, I'm going to cram in a whole bunch of stuff that I think will help you, that if you did this type of music, whether you're doing it live, or whether you're writing your own stuff, or whether you're recreating existing hits, or whether you're coming up with stuff for playing in service as recordings, whatever it is, you want it always to have a consistency that you can feel proud of and that always moves people. I've been working on a project with my good friends Jermaine Griggs and JP Jonathan Powell over at Hear and Play Music. And they asked me to help them on something amazing that they have coming up for you. I'm not going to tell you about that now. That's coming later, and I'll let them go ahead and announce it for you. It's something that it's going to blow your mind, and it's going to be totally amazing and cool and very, very, very helpful. But what my part and role in here was, they asked me to make some existing stuff just sound the best that it could so that it really delivers the most impact. So me bringing what I bring to the table, I take pride and joy in doing this, and I am honored to have been asked to participate in this. So I take it as a very large responsibility to make sure that it comes off right. So I want you to kind of look over my shoulder, you know, because mixing gospel music, you've got to identify a lot of different things in it to know how to bring the best out of it. What I'm going to do in a second is let you hear. Basically, I've been working on a few things in my webinar, which is separate from what we're coming up with for you guys later. But my webinar here is just so you can look over my shoulder and see my thought process behind how I approach this music as opposed to other types of music that I do. JP provided me with a track, and one in particular is the song I Will Bless the Lord, Anthony Brown's version. I'm going to show you what I thought about and the things that I thought that were important landmarks in that song to take it to the next level. The track he sent was very good, but I'm going to show you what I needed to do as far as my thought process came in, to dig in, to take it up and step things up to the next level. So let's just play it for a second. This is I Will Bless the Lord. And on my webinar, I think I'm going to cover two different things. Show you some examples of a couple other things, but I'll show you a snippet of this, and then I'll show you on the webinar another song that I did. It's not attached to that project, but it was another song that I did for actually a sax player, and it was called True Worship, and I really love that because I wanted to be pulled closer and drawn in, and I imagined myself bending the room that the sound was in, bending the reverb. So I got it in there. It didn't exist at first, but then, you know, it felt like it was pulling you closer, you know, or dropping you down into the cradling arms of Jesus, or however you want to feel about it. It really, it's a sonic thing where it made me feel like that. And I said, I want people to feel like that when they hear it, as opposed to it not existing in the original. So I'm going to show you that during the webinar, how I approach adding something like that too. This is important. Like I said, it's about the feeling. So this is how it made me feel. So I wanted other people to feel like different things when they hear it. So it's the same thing. Let's check out Bless the Lord. And what I'm going to do is play JP's tracks that he originally sent me and said, okay, colleague, do something with this. So, okay. So you hear, it already sounds good. Great quality. Sounds good. Good quality and everything. Nice and punchy. Look this song up on YouTube or somewhere if you want to hear what the vocals are doing. We're just dealing with the track today. I got all these landmarks in here. Now what I'm going to do is mute this and let you hear what I took it up to. Here, I expanded it out, made it a little fatter, a little richer and wider. I brought out the toms. I brought out some of the punch of that. There it is. And the horns. That's where we started. So you can kind of hear how I added and enhanced some of the elements. You see the toms and the guitars, the claps, the horns, all that stuff. Expand it, widen it, fat. I wanted to make this big and rich. Then we get into the groove, y'all. All the landmarks. A lot of colors in here. These guys are rocking, ain't they? The musicianship is incredible. I love it. Okay, so it gives you an idea. I'm going to show you how I went from before of what we started with, like I said, which is already good, great quality musicianship and everything. So all I had to do was dig in and make decisions on how to bring certain things out, how to control things, push it in. So you're going to want to attend this webinar. Just watch over my shoulder and I'll break it down and explain it to you. And I promise you, I'll cram as much as I can into we're going to go probably about 70 to 90 minutes, and I'll cram as much as I can in that little bit of time. In fact, before we go here, let me just show you something real quick. Let me just play the track, and then what I'm going to do is play the track and play the the drums, because the biggest challenge that I had in this is I've received this as stems for the most part, so the drums are all stereo on a stereo track. I had no separate control of the drums. I'm dealing with a stereo track of drums, so if I wanted to pull out the kick drum a little bit more, or the snare, or some of the other things in the background, I had to do some little trickeration to make it happen, and I think I did a decent job with it, bringing things out. But I want you to hear, let's take this. So we hear the track here, where the drums kick in. So you can hear the kick how it sounds, and the toms. Hear them? Those are little important things to me that I wanted to make them punch out a little bit more and ring, and the toms have a little more impact. And to put the thing on there. And the other thing I wanted to do is make the kick and snare just kind of stretch and pop a little more, give the drums a little more lively life. Okay. And the toms, you hear them, I wanted them to come out a little bit. And then we got the hi-hats back there and all that little stuff. So that's kind of driving it. So I wanted to make sure that I pulled a few of these elements out a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is switch over to the other ones. This is going to be the drums only, and not. This will be just the drums. The drums and the bass. So you can hear the toms. I brought them out, stretched them. And the claps, listen to the claps, because I wanted that tick-tock feel. This is all done with compression, EQ, and some saturation, things like that. You hear I'm stretching the room to make the drums have a little more life. Let the toms ring out a little bit more. Now if I had separate control of that kick, I would pull that out a little bit more and probably make it a little punchier. Wanted the toms to definitely come out and be nice and dynamic and still have that tick-tock thing going on. Yeah, I love this part, it's so funky. Driving. I wanted to make sure in this section I had light. Make sure that the bass is still a lot, got enough weight without it overwhelming to me. Okay, so anyway, this is long enough. I didn't really mean for this video to be quite so long, but I hope that gave you at least a little bit of an insight, but you'll get way more once we do this webinar. So I hope you join me in where I show you how to approach mixing gospel music, or my approach at least, and I think it'll be able to help you whether you're doing stuff that's meant for studio and record and airplay, or whether it's for live. Some of the same concepts are transferable when you're mixing live music or whatever. You got to know which instruments to think about in the order of importance, how to make sure you got the right things featured and in control. So I'll show you my thought process about how to keep the overall feeling of what I'm doing. And even though there's no vocals in this as well, I'll talk lightly about vocals, and we'll do that probably in a later thing. Anyway, I'm Khalid Glover, also known as ColecoVision. I hope this is helpful. I hope to see you on the webinar where I show you how to mix gospel music. Thank you, and I'll catch you later. Bye.